ECS has decided to make some letters in his name. Why not?
What was that?
Did
That's crazy.
Seal lag out or something?
Yeah, they all lined up and he just didn't click. That was really weird.
That has to be like mouse giving out or
Yeah, that's super weird.
freeze lag or something to that effect.
I was like, all
I was
of
expecting
Liquid are dead.
yeah.
All of them are dead immediately.
Yeah.
That's crazy because if he fired once, he probably, I mean, he could have gotten like.
He's on tilt. He's on
They
tilt
definitely
now.
gotten one kill, and then ZQK follows it up. Then
Oh, wow.
JDM just destroys all their hopes and dreams.
Oh, you got bolts. One of the originals. OGs.
Doesn't stick around for long, and I'm a bit curious. What do you guys make of this? Obviously, ZQK has been around in different teams. Yeah, there we go.
See, look, he just doesn't shoot. He's like, I will spare you, and you, and you.
That is a
I'm
weird
feeling
one.
merciful today.
It's definitely odd. But what do you guys think of the pickup of ZQK? Because obviously, like, he played for Ghosts for a little while, has been around playing stand-in for a couple of teams.
Well, he played on
And-
Kaboom TD as well.
Yeah, like way back when. Obviously, he's infamous for being probably the most successful roster swap of a roster kick of all time, seeing how he got replaced with Cold Zero.
Yeah.
Well, his statistics have been terrible recently.
Exactly, that's the thing. Like, he's been playing like he doesn't belong. You know, just to be frank about it, because he's been playing for lower level teams and hasn't even been able to. He's been the worst player on poor teams.
That sucks.
And now he gets into a situation where he gets picked up by Immortals, which obviously, in a normal setting, would have been amazing for any player. But obviously, a bit of a different scenario for them now. But
I think it's a question of necessity. You lose 3 players at the same time, especially. I mean, we are deep into the NA contract wars where people aren't available. But I mean, these are Brazilian teams and Portuguese speakers we're talking about. So I don't know how relevant that is. But how many current players have experience with this level of Counter-Strike? Not many.
not many at all. And honestly, just knowing how good ZKK has been, way back when, or what kind of player he used to be, I wouldn't put it past him to actually be able to get back to a decent level at least, but probably not as a main offer.
Yeah, maybe it's like visa issues as well.
Yeah, it's just like the easy access option.
Yeah, exactly. It is a lack of choice.
Instead of Horvey, we have Zach playing, who was typically the coach of Immortals.
Yeah.
So that's also problematic here against Liquid.
He doesn't do too badly when he plays.
No, he's,
To be
he's
honest,
pretty.
he's one of the better coaches.
Yeah.
It's better than Peacemaker, at least. That's something I witnessed for myself. Peacemaker has definitely not been DMing a lot. And Zach is definitely putting in work here. 3 kills already into this round. Not able to get the 4th, but there's a lot of damage onto JDM here.
There's no kit, so JDM's done enough, I think.
Still, very good round from
Everyone's dead.
Immortals, all in all.
Oh, is he gonna?
He's fine.
Everybody dead. But they won the round, and that is the key. So the AKs will no doubt come out.
Back 10. Let's go. Have you been watching Envious demos? Come on. No Mag 10s. Sad times.
What does JDM do? Does he
Oh,
go?
there we
Nitro.
go. Thank God.
JDM could go CZ in this round. I mean, if he wants an AWP in the next round, then he could go CZ unless they fear some kind of potential weirdness from Immortals because only one person survived. But what do you think? Is there a world where you go CZ if you're JDM?
I feel like you can't go wrong with Goga ZZ
Or
in that sense.
Or give JDM the Mac 10 and give Nitro the AK.
Yeah, give JDM an opportunity to actually just rack up some cash. I guess in the end, they might just not want to go for it. Maybe if they want to have their first buy round be a rather tempo-heavy round, then maybe not put the op in the hands of JDM. Just have him run around with an AK instead. Could also be what's factoring into them, depending on what kind of pace they want to set on their T side.
It would be cool to see what percentage of the time the AWPers of each team actually have an AWP.
Oh, yeah.
In a round, because I feel like he would be one of the higher players. Because I can't even remember him getting many rifle kills, which
It's been always been one of like the big weaknesses that people point out with JDM as a player in general. The fact that if he doesn't have an op, he doesn't really serve any purpose on the server, which is kind of harsh, but it's also been somewhat true.
But I wonder if it's partly because he has a sniper more, or if he's just not delivering with the AK.
I think it's a mixture of things, but I think it's like one of the reasons why he goes to the ops so much or has the ops so much is again, you know, being conservative in his ecos and whatnot. And again, will play pretty much exclusively with one weapon, and of course, like you're gonna falter with the other weaponry if you don't use it heavily. But JDM has been one of the players who's playing better and better, I think, as of late, like after the roster changes and whatnot. I guess one of the things Stanislav said when he came into the team was that he wanted to kind of unlock a way for JDM to be more effective again.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's very cool. At the moment, Liquid are just going through the motions, although now it's the buy time of Immortals, so have to be cautious.
ZPK is going to pick up that off as well.
Zach scouting a lot of information towards short B. Will this speed up the play of Liquid? It seems it will. They knew Zach was there, but he's still going to get himself 3 kills. All headshots, of course. Why not? A manager.
Not Glocks, though. That is very impressive. I was about to say Zach just kind of overplayed his hand a little bit with spamming through the walls. Almost used every single bullet, and actually allowed for them to get up on the B bomb site and take out Steel. But you know, if you're going to deliver 3K in that kind of a fashion afterwards, I think you could live with that if you're Steel.
Man like Zach.
He's doing it, and obviously Stanislav in a bit of a rough spot here.
And he's got to do some damage here. He really needs at least a kill or 2.
Yeah.
Liquid should be able to buy in the next round, I think. I don't think they took too much damage on their ecos.
Well, they did. They all died.
Oh yes,
but that was the first one. So then they had the second, the third round anti-eco that went a lot better. So they should, or actually they bought full utility as well. Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
You see $1,000 left on Stan.
Yeah,
I guess they could do like a wonky buy with UMPs or grills and everything. Yeah, I could see 3K on JDM. Yeah, actually they'll be fine. It's only Stan and Nitro really has.
And that's kind of, yeah, that is kind of fun because, you know, if they wanted to do a fast play, then, you know, with 2 guys with pistols, that can work really well. But yeah, that's kind of brutal. Really nice spray down from Zach.
That was very well controlled.
Nice.
He's been getting ready, man. He's coming back. Zach is back.
So he hid behind the wall for a while, and then they completely forgot about him. And then he came back.
I was actually surprised by the fact that, because obviously they must have heard him shooting through the walls as they run up towards short, so maybe they should have paid a bit more attention to him.
Maybe Zach will join us. The way he's playing at the moment. Team kill from Liege there will make life slightly easier for Immortals. ZQKS needs to back that ass up. The Molotov may help him, but that is poor positioning. Fortunately for him, he has bolts to save him for a few seconds, but he will eventually go down.
Just stand waiting patiently behind the toilets, looking for an opening there. As they start to march in, make that last-ditch attempt to try and bust this site. Nice snap there from Stanislav. Needs to follow up. Gets himself one as well, down to only 9 points of health. Not a good look. What is the play here as he starts to edge his way down through CT spawn? Down the stairs. This is a smart play. He does have a lot of time to work with. Steel will now discover the site's completely empty.
If he jumps off to the left, he might die. Okay, there is a hump in the floor there, especially if he's going for a smoke. If he doesn't land in the right place, then he dies on impact.
I can go for a forward position. I like this. It's an open plan as well.
Smart, he's just going to go straight to the high grounds. Now, if there's a hold, then he loses the round, and that's the fear that he comes off the bomb, and Liege gets it done. Really smart work, great decision making, good positioning from Liege to close it down. 4-1, resetting Immortals.
That's a great shot from Stanislav. But I think it was sloppy play from ZQKS. Surely he heard the T's advancing on the toilets. Chose to Molotov one side so he couldn't get chased, and then faced the other side of a grenade in his hand.
Yeah. I think the biggest mistake was the fact that they didn't fall back soon enough. As soon as Liege gets the team kill, which was on the initial target that ZQK wanted to go for, then at that point you should just run back and play from sight. Well, it does reset Immortals somewhat. They decide to force back into it. Bolts with the Colts, Scout on ZQK, and a FAMAS on Destiny. Otherwise, CZs to work around with. Not the greatest of buys coming in from Team Liquid either. Obviously, UMP's long range not going to do a whole lot for you anymore.
ZQKS with a lot of targets in that long position. So Destiny, is this a one and done spot? Up there with no support,
Nice.
and I think this is going to be telling of Immortals because they're basically at this point a ragtag team.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see a lack of support, a lack of coordination that you would expect from CT sides.
Oh, definitely. I think even in that situation, Destiny can see the shadow of JDM on top of the bench, so he should be expecting some sort of a flash to come in as well. So instead of standing in the middle of absolutely nowhere, get to a corner, looking towards the wall or something like that, or at least try to be the aggressor when you can see the shadow getting closer.
So here it is, the set piece onto the site. Entry from Nitro. Bolts will get one. Trey should surely follow eventually. Picks himself up too, but it's an advantage for Liquid. The bomb is ticking away. So Immortals struggle to get back in, as Zach will rightly find out by the bank position. Still to follow as well. What do you do from these positions? Get a bit of extra damage perhaps, but it's difficult. Ooh, JDM may not realize. Goes back to the angle. There it is. Steel could steal away the weapon perhaps. No, maybe not. It's a good attempt though, some additional damage done. But Liquid looking pretty comfortable off the back of just walking up into position around long and toilets and then throwing in grenades for the set piece execution.
Well, this is a pretty rough CT start from Immortals. One of the technical maps, as I like to call overpass.
Definitely does require some coordination within the team to be successful on a map like this.
Yeah, and the young age of this team may be very exposed on this CT side. Liquid can exploit them well. JDM, the information man, getting two, and Twist will clean up the rest. So JDM's done his job, and that should be the round shutdown. Stock pistols for the remainder of the CT side. Not much was lost there from JDM, so all good in the hood. Still looking to make $300 with this play. Sliding up the corner. Stanislaw looking for someone to the right. Wheels all the way, he will. That leaves Zach alone. The coach. Can he get anything done? No. Death by paper cuts in that round. On to the next one.
We're not really sure what we can expect out of this Immortals side, considering what they're lining up with.
Steals
Like,
1 for 7.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? Well, he's just a happy-go-lucky guy. I wouldn't expect him to get tilted from that pistol round, but I would have been tilted out of my friggin' mind. Like, if that happens to me, it's like you've lined up two people perfectly, but just nothing happens.
Yeah, that was pretty rough. Pretty rough. Very defensive setup from Immortals, not really taking any forward positions on the map at all, and there's no eyes on long. Liquid have essentially picked by far the best route to traverse, and they've done so with a fairly fast pace, so they could catch the Immortals defense in the back, and that would be crippling. They're about to beat the timing of the rotation up the stairs perhaps as well. There it is, you can see Nitro gets the position. The transfer is magnificent, and Liquid have the bomb site. Pure timing. Just completely beat the rotation.
But also a pretty abysmal CT setup.
Yeah.
You don't go aggressive enough to actually get any useful information from any point on the map, and you also put yourself in a position where you don't have control of the actual bomb site. You don't have any cover. You're placing yourself on a bit of an island.
Yes, yeah.
And you have nothing. There's zero benefit to standing where they are at any given point.
Because normally you'd have someone sort of, like, if you're playing heavy toilets, you can have someone that can spot in the connector.
Yeah.
Onto a long, right? But they were just, yeah, it's sort of really far back. And obviously, the thing is that it looks a lot worse than it otherwise is, just because
Liquid picked the perfect
Yeah,
route.
the perfect pace, the perfect.
I think it's just like, in theory, that setup they play with right there is flawed from the get-go. So even if you see Liquid not going with 4 people through long, maybe they have 2 people through restroom, it's still a massive issue for them because, yeah, sure, maybe they pick up the 2 players in restroom, still lost control over the site, still tons of room. Like, you haven't really heard anything at that point either, so rotation times are not necessarily going to be in place. It's more or less like luck that Bolts rotates in towards the bomb site at that exact time.
Yeah. I wonder if Liquid picked that round because they assumed that there wouldn't be an AWP or money for an AWP on Immortals. I wonder if that was one of the factors into that decision making, or if it was just a guts.
It could be, because you saw it in the anti-eco round they had, where they assumed that Immortals would have an eco, but they decided to force up with the scout and whatnot. You could see that multiple players decided to go towards long as well, because again, you have the benefits of long range.
1 minute 10 for Liquid to fish out and flush out either one, maybe both, these Immortals players. I'm sure many of the fish has been flushed down a toilet at this point.
And again, similar approach from Liquid. They know they're up against not the greatest of weaponry, so heading with the majority of players towards long. Stanislaw being the lurker behind again.
Pop shots by ZQKS. His name is incredibly difficult to say.
ZQK.
I'm British, so I must say Z.
ZQK.
ZQKS. ZQK.
I think the S isn't a part of his nickname, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, it's not?
Like,
Sure,
originally.
it was always written like that, so.
Yeah, I know he's always had it in his nickname, but it's kind of like, oh, I wanted to say Kenias, but that's obviously part of his nickname. I'm pretty sure ZQK was only ZQK, and that was it back in CSS. So unless he's decided to add add a fancy S for no good reason, then I don't know. It's like Bolts' S at the end there.
Where's oh right, okay. Interesting.
I'm pretty sure it's a stylistic choice. Maybe he wants to be Kenny S.
ZQK, because that's much easier to say. ZQK, I can do that.
Yeah.
It's even easier to say than ZQK, I think. ZQK. I don't know.
I'm curious if there's if it's pronounced in a very different way in Portuguese, so it actually has a flow to it. Like Zach, for instance. If ZQK has some sort of a weird pronunciation that just flows really well in Portuguese.
Yeah.
Because it's like an abbreviation of a name or shortening of a name.
Like KNG, like Kianje.
Yeah.
Or how we supposed to say it. I'm not sure if that's correct. Kianje. Well, here we go. Just round from Liquid. The flick shot missed by ZQK on the AWP. And this time Liquid's taking full control of Suez. Immortals playing very, very passive setups across this overpass CT side so far. And it's passive. I would say that passive is where you want to be, but I feel like you have to be aggressive and assert yourself on the map first for it to actually have its full strength.
Oh, buddy.
Boost meets boost.
Boost wins.
Wins.
Zach getting caught out.
Stanislaw wins.
Zach trying to get back into his sweet spot. And, oh, this round is over. That was, unfortunate, obviously.
Well,
it seems like most of the decisions that Immortals are making right now is not panning out, but I think this is,
they're just playing so defensively. Like, Liquid have all of the map.
Yeah,
they basically get to have any of the map for free, and that's like that's why James would say this is a technical map, because it's so hard. It should be made so difficult to do that.
And that's the thing. Immortals, in many ways, even though they're getting unfortunate in that, or like they have not necessarily Lady Fortuna on their side at any given time, it is a result of them making their own bed.
Yeah, like in that round, for example, they're playing like a retake setup on B, But if they're doing that, then why not play more actively towards A? If you're playing for retake on B, then that makes sense, because you know you're sort of pushing one side of the map, allowing yourself to not give up that other side of the map where you will have very weak rotations because you're playing very far away.
Yeah.
But if the other team does play slowly, then you get options for plays and engagements to get information on the map and to adjust your rotations. Also, like lots of things start to happen. But if you just sit incredibly passively on both sides, then you have a problem. Especially when you're up against Liquid. At this level, it just does not fly. And obviously, it's hard to be overly critical just due to the fact that, yes, Zach is playing as a 4v. It's a ragtag group where it's only Steel and Bolts are you know, parts of the core that remain. So we can't be too harsh on them, but it's worth pointing out the fundamentals, right? So
exactly. And you would have, you know, even though you can't expect the world coming out of what is essentially is a mixed team at this point. You do kind of want them to see the fundamental things about the map that they have been doing while they were playing as a team correctly, because players at this level, you know, should be aware of what is the most effective way of playing, to a certain extent at least.
Yeah, it's I guess it's very hard as well to coordinate everybody. We get the boost on the next to the balloons.
Do they want to like boost on top of the balloon?
Balloon boost.
Oh yeah.
So here we go. This is obviously a stack of Immortals. Nitro, don't want to be pulling. Oh wow, you got saved, man. A leech, absolutely saving Nitro. Although I don't know how savable he is. He's on 3 HP now.
Nitro's just gonna get out of dodge, and meanwhile Zach has the not so fun task of going up against 4 players on Team Liquid's side. Doesn't spot Twist running onto the side either. Does find JDM.
That really reminded me of Protect the VIP, you know, like the VIP modes, like
yeah.
Like was it CS? Was the like
no,
CS?
AS, yeah, assassination.
Oil rig, and there was the Arctic one.
Oh
that
yeah,
was called.
Oil rig was pretty sick.
Oil rig was the one.
It was legit.
That was the one.
I remember the sounds from Oil Rig. The vent sounds.
Yeah.
So the one round that Immortals won was essentially won by their coach.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
But I mean, these are all meaningless statements for a team in a severe state of disrepair. I mean, a lot of individual plays going on. Normally, on a long push like that, you see 2, maybe 3 people.
Bolts pushing. I believe it was Fnatic that were really good at being active in connector as the CTs. They really like to make plays around here. I feel like it was JW, if I want to put a name to it. But yeah, Bolts will pick up a frag and he gets out of there as well. The issue is that they don't have sewers at the moment, and you know, even though there's only 3 players for Liquids, Allegiance, you know, he's got some space cleared towards A long. He's looking through toilets where there are a bunch of players. So Allegiance can open things up. Stanislaw as well stands to be able to do the same. Gets a pick off there as they try to challenge Sewers back, and Liquid still hold Sewers. Sewers.
Every time you say sewers, to me it sounds like Suez.
Suez.
Like Suez Crisis. So that might pull people away from the B-bomb site. In the meantime, Liquid have crept into B, but ZQKS is he's not convinced. He has not been persuaded by the one player who's getting kills towards A. 1 on each site, but surely he'll get the sound cues, and now he'll get the visual cues as well. Bomb getting planted. He has not revealed his position, ZQKS, but the scope can only go so far. Spotted now, and JDM takes 1 angle on him. It's a nice peek to get the information, but will he get the 1+1? He might just.
Nice tag through the wall there. Trying to bait out these shots. It's very 1.6 actually. It's like Zach is left. I can't say his name. And this 1v1 is not very favorable for Zach. He does actually get. Oh, I thought it was. Is that a smoke? Invisible smoke? I'm not sure. But
No, it's a flashbang.
Oh, it was a flashbang. All right. Well, nice peek from JDM regardless. ZQK. There we go. There in the end. They could with absurd money. But yeah, I don't know if you guys remember like how crazy the 1.6 jump peaks were with the AWP, where you'd basically like you jump into the angle, then do sort of like a 360, sort of like using the air control to sort of like offset your trajectory and.
Oh yeah, but like
weird
it's
business.
basically like the with like air strafing into angles.
Yeah.
In addition to, or like one of the things that made up like a lot of peaking really awkward was obviously the introduction of Russian jumps as well, which just actually messed up your hitbox, which is super fun.
When you
Did you say
tap,
Russian jump?
is that when you
Yeah,
tap
Russian
crouch?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
Russian jumping, which basically removed your footsteps, allowed you to
Yeah.
run at no sound and messed up your hitbox, and
Yeah, that was really weird.
glorious time to play CS.
I abused the hell out of that.
Everyone did.
Yeah.
If you didn't, you'd just get left behind in the dust.
Speaking of, Immortals in the dust at the moment. The dust of failure. But it's just a rough patch that they just have to get through. Liquid just holding positions, looking for a response after that kill. No response just yet, though. You'd expect at least to peek somewhere. Stanislaw definitely is. Hence holding that monster tunnel as he is. Because it would be so... It is frequent that in this spot you'd see the CT monster. Stanislaw's going to push Zach off the map.
There's not a whole lot going in the way of Immortals. Feels like this is how most rounds play out. Lose a couple of players initially, somebody finds one trade kill, but at that point, Liquid has gotten control over a bomb site. Well, let's see. ZQK might want to try to hold on to this AK instead. Doesn't really have a chance to turn the round around for Immortals. And obviously, Team Liquid are going to be so fine in terms of economy that there's no reason for them to chase to try to put a dent in it. Team Liquid are going to be able to buy up for the rest of the half.
How do you mess this up, Howell? You're 11. We're about to be 12 to 1.
Oh, trying to figure out how to
do you
lose if
How
you're...
do you lose? That'd be interesting.
I mean, with how Immortals playing, I think that might be an impossible task.
Yeah,
Because
definitely.
it's again, it comes back to the point that James mentioned, the fact that overpass is a technical map to play, and if you're not, if you can't show a a hint of coordination or synergy in your CT side play, I'm not too confident about how you'll do on your T side either.
It definitely looks grim. It definitely looks grim. Liquid's in prime position to close the map.
Yeah, and I think Zach is still the top fragger on Immortal side.
Can they go do 4-1 though? Oh, that's very nice. Aggressive play, finally. The only problem is that you would have liked a teammate to stand further back, to flash for you, proper setups, exactly as you were describing. Obviously, that's a great play to make, but it wasn't done correctly, so you get punished hard.
So he did it 50% correct. Like the first half, excellent, got the first pick, and I was like, yeah, that's the final touches.
Oh wow, 1 HP.
Ouch.
1 HP, not a happy time for Destiny. Let's see if he can survive the ordeal that is Team Liquid as they start to barrel down on this A bomb site.
Destiny actually moving forward here. Oh boy.
Biggest position away. Headshot, that's some overkill if I've ever seen it. Bolts on the bomb site. Finds a great angle, spray down's good for 2. I don't think he knew anything about that second kill, but he'll take it. Steel and Zach on the retake. Shenanigans, up the stairs they go, but soon to fall. Oh.
Well then.
Oh.
Alrighty.
What happened there? Is everyone... What?
Well,
oh no.
Liquid won the round at least.
Well, this is interesting.
Hey, Steel's back.
Hey.
Welcome back, Steel. Welcome back.
Huh.
Forgive my silence. I'm just talking to some admins at the moment. Some other bits and bobs. Hello there. Surprise. Well,
back on camera.
I think it's time for a break, but this time we'll give production time to actually set up for the break, because obviously, I don't know, something weird had just happened there. So at least the round was over. We are pretty good with the restore, so it shouldn't take too long for them to fix. But while they fix things, we'll go to a break. See you back here shortly.
fan of crutches, then get your hands on this. But now let's focus on an even greater product, Taser.com, a competitive gaming platform.
Wow, James, that sure sounds amazing.
It is amazing, Dan. On Taser, you can find the toughest dudes in the galaxy.
I heard it's got all these great features for real gaming.
Yes, it has, Dan. Like a voice communication system. Just post one to your friends.
Wow, James, that sure is cutting-edge technology.
Radios must be within a 10-metre straight line with clear line of sight and sunny weather with no wind.
Do you keep getting wrecked by hacker noobs online? Introducing new Taser security system.
Wow, it's so lightweight. It feels like there's nothing inside.
That's correct, Dan. But there's more.
Behavioural index to keep you from playing with idiots. An easy way to send in your results. Multiple game titles. And here you can see a happy customer.
It's great!
If you sign up within the next 4 minutes, you will get these items for free. James White's best Christmas songs. Watermelon signed by Dan Black.
Fan är det här?
had a CSGO update, so apologies for that. We've been getting a bit hammered today.
Easy way of putting it. And I guess we're underway to continue the onslaught that was happening. Liquid, as we see, in a fairly commanding lead. As we see the opening frags being traded. And for Stanislaw, a bit of an aggressive lurk.
Sneaky, sneaky boy. What is he up to? Oh my god, how far will he go?
He's just going all the way. He's even going to find Steel as well. And this is probably going to force a rotation off of it.
That's a big engagement there that Nitro eventually wins against Destiny. That clears a path for the bomb to go back through connector. Should they want, Stanislaw now checking the path past connector, which would be the sewers. Honestly, don't know how to say that word anymore.
Sewers?
Sewers.
There we go.
That's how I normally say it, but James says I'm saying something weird that I don't understand.
I think
Perhaps.
James has lost his mind.
I think that's definitely true.
That, to be fair though, that did happen quite some time ago.
Yes, that was my force exactly.
Alright, even so, once again, Immortals find themselves at a player deficit, and the Execute comes in towards the V-bomb site. Zach's not going to be able to find anything. And Bolts is left along with a pretty big task, and a pretty rough way of getting there. A bit of a highway road fire blocking his way. And doesn't even have a defuse kit either. Obviously, it's the last round of the half, so might as well go for it, but chances of this being successful, not that much.
Trying to bait someone out. And JDM will put him out of his misery. They could have waited for Nitro to speak in that situation. Although maybe actually the planks of wood would have blocked one of the plays. But either way, it's a 14-1 half, and it's hard to expect much more from Immortals, and Immortals who, on the CT side, seemingly played individually. And when they did try to have like a two-man unit around toilets or something, it was exploited pretty badly. So maybe a map like Overpass, not the best choice for a team in a current situation.
See, this is where you want Dust 2 to be back in the map pool.
Yeah, exactly. Which was just updated. Lots of small bugs and the like, which is why
just the fog as well.
Yeah, just the fog indeed. It's not normal for the server to reset when that happens, but that is the nature of technical thingy-majiggies. Anyway, Liquid, can they take this pistol? It seems that it's likely because Steel is the only man standing and he's the last man to fall. 15-1 for Liquid. At least it's, I would say a brief one, but it was a delay, but at least they're getting it over and done with. As you may have seen in the schedule, Renegades have been handed 2 forfeit losses for some scheduling issues. So it may be a good day for Liquid. They could get 12 points from this day.
I mean, they've already gotten 6.
Yeah, soon to be 9.
Yeah. Wait, are you saying this is out of the waters? You're saying you don't believe in the comeback?
No, this is in the waters, in the sewer, towards Short B. That's where Immortals are at the moment. Do I believe in the comeback? I don't believe in many things.
Yeah, this is not one
where
of them
beliefs are required. I'm not big on belief.
Oof. Juicy pair of nades though, puts Leaves down to 9 HP, so something at least going in the direction of Immortals. And as I said, that's still able to get away with the frag.
And not really too much going on here for Immortals. They are just being victimized by the superior firepower. He's dead. 16-1, Team Liquid with the W.